There's been many times in the last couple months where I've wondered, what the heck is the point of falling in love and being rejected and having your heart broken? Because that was my experience. What the heck is the point of, wanting and chasing and yearning after someone who doesn't like me back? And I just had an epiphany 2 days ago, what the meaning of all that was. And I realized basically, every time I've gone through heartbreak or rejection, that's made me a stronger person, 100%, because I've needed to focus on things that were not the heartbreak, right? Just to be able to think of anything else besides that. But sometimes the heartbreak also gets me very present to the qualities that I still need to work on within myself, because there's probably a good reason we get rejected, right? But for me, I tend to look at what do I need to improve about myself also, so that people would want to be around me. And that does sound kind of people pleasy, but at the end of the day, I also want to improve myself because I want to be around myself. Because by default we're married to ourselves. Like, we can't just say hey bye. I can't just say hey bye Lilia, see you in 3 years. No, that's not how it works. So getting getting really present to that, how heartbreak has actually signaled the times of tremendous growth for me and tremendous focus. Like, I'd wake up at some ungodly hour in the morning and read The Art of Happiness by Dalai Lama, because I really just wanted happiness, and I wanted to move past the grief and the anger and get back to a state of love and compassion for myself and other people. So that's what I want to share about that part, right? But the other thing I've been frustrated about is just the pointlessness of my own depression. Like, what the heck, right? What the heck has been the point of, just wanting to beat myself up and see all the negatives in the world, and to focus on them, when in fact, I have all the resources I need around me to live a happy and fulfilling life. Why have I been doing that, right? Of course, when I dug deeper, it's really because I've, of my lone wolf tendencies, right? How I keep comparing myself to others and isolating myself from the pack and trying to do everything on my own. Yeah, that can easily lead to depression for anybody. But I think also the meaning behind that experience is that now I want to but provide a community where other people don't feel alone and they're encouraged and accepted for who they are. Encouraged to, chase after their dreams, as cheesy as it sounds, because that's the environment I felt I was missing in my life. So sometimes our greatest sufferings really do become our purpose, and that purpose can be filled with lots of drive and passion, because we really want to help others and prevent others from experiencing some of the troubles we did in our lifetimes. So that's certainly one meaning I got out of it. But I think in general, depression has really helped me to see what my needs are. Right? See what my needs are and actually find a purpose for living. And make sure I'm living for myself and not just living to please others. So there have been some great learnings along the way, and it has helped me have way more compassion for people than I used to. To be able to step into the shoes of anyone who feels like they're not enough, not good enough, and to understand their suffering from that perspective. And it also helps me to, in particular, look at the depression that rich people suffer from, because they're dealing with a world that is telling them, hey, why the heck aren't you happy when you have so much money, right? But the reality is they're not happy because they feel isolated, because they don't feel good enough, or they're like, maybe their whole families have become all about pursuing money and less about warmth and affection, and having a safe space at home. All right, so from that point of view, I can very much relate to their experiences and really help to serve this underserved community, right? But yeah, those are two examples, right? Heartbreak and depression, things that I've really struggled to find meaning around. Um, like often question, how unfair it was, right? Like wonder why it happened to me. But I think it all really boils down to this, right? It really is that old saying, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. Every single challenge that we've been through in our lives, I think no question has shaped us to have the resilience we have today. Because nobody, a lot of times, like very few people choose to go through suffering and pointless suffering and pain. But sometimes circumstances in life, have us go through that journey, and just to be able to like withstand it builds a lot of mental resilience. It brings out the best in us, because if you've heard before, right, the greatest artists and scientists were created during times of political turmoil and uprising and upheaval. It's forced them to really get present to what their priorities are, and necessity is the mother of invention, right? So if you have an urgent problem that needs to be fixed, such as world conflict or war, right? Then you strive for world peace much sooner. Versus like, I know one of my problems is that during times of peace where there were no obligations expected of me, I just played computer games and I got addicted to it, and it was so unsatisfying and draining and unfulfilling for me. Maybe it was fulfilling for you, but for me, I burned out and needed to find something else to really fill me up. So that's what I wanted to say about challenges. So I'd like to invite you to reflect, what are some of the biggest challenges in your life, and how have they built your character and helped you see your purpose in life. And if you're not sure what that purpose is, what do you think it is, right? And something else that has brought me a lot of peace, and especially for those of you who are spiritual, right, is this idea that before I was born, I chose the challenges I would face during this lifetime, and that would include all the unfair circumstances and deficiencies, right? There are those of you who have been through things also way worse than I have been through. It could have been armed conflict. It could have been abuse at home, physical or sexual. It could be any number of things, right? And sometimes, I think we all, look at our suffering and wonder, why we were dealt such an unfair hand in life. But if it's true that we chose these challenges to bring out the best in ourselves and to develop greater resilience and courage and love and compassion for ourselves and others, then I don't know about you, but that idea really gives me a lot of peace. And in hope, right, that even if you don't see the purpose of it now, like a lot of us don't see the purpose of COVID or political turmoil right now, we will see it after it's all over, or even if it keeps on happening, we'll be able to connect the dots going backward and see, wow, even this year, right, what we learned, what qualities did we build in ourselves? What do we do during this time that we would have not done any other time? What did we realize was the most important to us? So with that, I hope that really helps you gain perspective into any challenge you may be facing now or any challenge you faced in the past, and I encourage all of you to share your greatest learnings from your greatest challenges. So with that, thank you so much for listening, and hope to see you again soon.